today for another one of our CARW sponsor spotlights. Today we have with us representatives from Bear Construction Company, Scott Kurinsky, Executive Vice President, and Tim Klinger, Project Executive. We are going to start with Scott. Tell us a little bit about Bear Construction Company, your role, and some of the fun projects you're working on.
Good morning, Tracy. Thank you for having us. As you stated, my name is Scott Kurinsky. I'm the Executive Vice President for Bear. I focus primarily on our company's interiors group in downtown Chicago. But Bear as a whole has been around since 1984. We are about a $250 million company, founded in 1984 by three brothers who were all active in the construction business and the trades. Two of the three brothers are still active with the company. The third has since retired to northern Wisconsin and enjoying himself up there. But the other two are still here. And although we're now a $250 million company doing diverse projects across many different sectors of commercial construction, we really try to run the organization as a family-based business. Family values and integrity are of utmost importance to the company and have really what has led to our success and long tenure in the business. So that's a little bit about Bear. We service, as I said, the interiors market, new construction. We have a very big presence in the healthcare community and an emerging presence in the industrial and institutional communities as well. So really try to diversify across all the sectors so we can keep the business strong and stable.
Great. Tim Klinger, how about you? Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do for Bear Construction.
Well, thanks again, Tracy, for having us. My name is Tim Klinger, Project Executive with Bear Construction. I've been in the business with Bear for over 13 years now, and I run the Milwaukee office, and I specialize in tenant improvements and healthcare and new construction. Bring all that experience from our Bear home office up to Milwaukee, and so I've been involved in the Milwaukee office now for about a year and a half. So I'm well entrenched now and enjoy networking with all the Milwaukee folks.
Great. So Scott mentioned a little bit about kind of your philosophy on diversifying the different types of projects that you work on. How would you characterize the focus of Bear Construction, or maybe a specialty that you really try to excel at?
Well, we certainly excel at the tenant improvement market. We work well with the broker community and the property management community as well. So that's our primary focus when we entered the Milwaukee market. But we are diversifying now as well. We're entering healthcare. We're doing some civil work and healthcare work, as well as we've touched on some industrial as well. So we're bringing that experience and that breadth up to the Milwaukee market.
And as a whole, we've been primarily an interiors company throughout our history, and have always had a strong presence in healthcare. As about a 30 to 40% of our business annually, in addition to the interiors. But over the last 10 years, we really have tried to diversify into some new markets, especially since the housing crisis in 2008 through 2011 really showed us that the more markets we could cover, the more opportunity we had to, stabilize the business. So we really started to get into some new construction at that time. We've done ground up buildings as high as 9 stories, and always looking for new opportunities there. And then our industrial group, which right now is a huge segment, with all the logistics and everything for the online ordering and such, that's been a huge plus. So that group is really trying to pursue those opportunities in Chicago and southern Wisconsin as well.
So what about the company makes it unique compared to many of the other firms that are out there, especially when you get into all these different markets and these different areas? How do you differentiate?
Well, I think we just carry that philosophy, that hardworking family philosophy to everything that we do, each job that we do. Our project managers are trained to go out on every job, no matter how big or small, to understand what the client's looking for and to understand the project itself. In tenant work and in remodeling work, there's always these idiosyncrasies that you have to look for in a job. And so we pay special attention and focus on that, make sure that we cover everything so we can give the client a fair price. And also ownership and senior management is very vested in each and every project and really want us to maintain that customer retention. We're 70 to 80% customer retained, and we really strive on customer service and focus on that.
And that Tim, I think you hit it on the head there with our values. As a construction company, we're always trying to do things differently or better in regards to technology, and we don't ignore those items. We've got some great technology platforms we work with to streamline our process and bring the customers really into the fold when it comes to our process to get them involved. And all our competitors are trying to do those same types of things. But like Tim said, when that all boils down, all of the construction companies are trying to do those things. So we have to do them to stay competitive and relevant. But what everything always comes back to at Bear Construction is that integrity and doing the right thing for the client all the time, even when it means us not making as much money or losing money on a job. And that's what ownership is instilled in each of us right on down the line. So that really is, I think, what sets us apart from the competition.
When you talked a lot about these different new ideas and ways of doing business to the table, can you talk specifically about how you're delivering value for your clients? We'll start with Tim.
Well, like I said before, we deliver value by trying to understand each project and trying to understand what the client's needs are. We ask a lot of questions. We walk the job, we ask a lot of questions, and we maybe bring up certain things that the customer didn't think about, and make sure that the job is covered 100%. We may even bring subcontractors or other consultants in just on a specialty job, just to make sure that we're looking at it the right way.
Great. Scott, I want to turn to you now for a minute. You recently, with Bear Construction Company, obviously, managed the restoration and redevelopment of the Chicago Post Office. This has been a widely observed and covered project, and I want to talk a little bit more about that. Can you talk a little bit about it, what it entails, what it is, and maybe give everyone kind of an idea of what some of the features of the space are?
Sure. Not many things I like talking about more than the old Chicago Post Office. So as you alluded, it was a redevelopment of the largest postal facility in the United States. It's about 2.5 million square feet. It had been placed on the National Register of Historic Places I believe in 2001. But the building sat vacant between 1996 and 2016 when the current owners purchased it. So it was in a very advanced state of decay. It's so much so that the city of Chicago was basically foreclosing on the building with the prior owner because it was becoming a public health and safety issue with the facade falling off and things like that. So we took over in 2016 with the new ownership, 601 West, and have revitalized the building really from below the ground up. We've installed all new mechanical systems in the building, new water, new power, connected to the district cooling system in the city here. So we've basically built a new building using the existing shell. And again, it's about 2.5 million square feet of space. The floor plates are absolutely enormous. They're about 275,000 square feet for the full floor plates. And a lot of people are familiar with the Merchandise Mart in Chicago and what a big building that is. The Merchandise Mart would actually fit comfortably inside the post office's footprint. That's how big it is. So we basically gutted the entire building, have white boxed the entire building with all these new mechanical systems. We renovated the historic lobby, which is absolutely beautiful. It's won many awards with many architecture and other design publications. There's a 3.5 acre rooftop park, which encompasses a good portion of the 6 acre total rooftop, which is a great amenity for the tenants in the building. There's an 80,000 square foot amenity center that we built, complete with a 30,000-foot fitness center. It's got a boxing ring, every piece of equipment you could ever imagine. A huge bar and entertaining area. There's a private room for smaller gatherings, conference facilities, you name it, when it comes to amenities. So it's a really exciting project. Our spend was almost $400 million for our company, and the total spend for the building has been reported many times to be around $1 billion total with all the consulting and furniture and things like that. So the largest historical renovation in the country that we're aware of for at least the last 5 years, if not ever. So it's was a huge success. The building was over 80% leased before it even opened in October of 2019, luckily pre-COVID, because it would be a different situation today, obviously, but a huge success for us in the city of Chicago.
Great. And it's 80% leased out. That's tremendous. Can you talk a little bit about some of the obstacles that you faced and maybe do it in a way that would shed some light on what Bear Construction brought to the table?
Sure. So if you're not familiar with where the post office sits, it sits alongside the Chicago River. So we've got a waterway directly adjacent to the building. It straddles 40 active Amtrak and Metro Railroad tracks. So there's 40 train tracks underneath the building. The Eisenhower I-290 Expressway bisects the building on the first floor. So you've got a 8-lane expressway, 40 train tracks, and water all joining the property. So there were challenges in every way, shape, or form that you can imagine when it comes to logistics, in addition to the age and advanced decay of the building. So, Bear really, it was such a big project that what we decided to do is kind of break it down into bite-sized segments when we started. And, the first and foremost was safety. The building had no power to speak of, no heat, no water service. So our first priority was to get the building safe enough even to work in. So, we really developed a safety plan very quickly, which involved, adding temporary power, temporary lighting to all the building. There were thousands of holes in the floor from old conveyors and elevators that had been removed over time. So making those safe for workers and first responders to come to was really our first priority. And then from there, we just kind of broke it down into bite-sized segments so we could, put a plan together to bring that building back to life.
Oh, great. Well, and we hope we can get down there soon to see the building and see the project. Speaking of challenges, as a company, can you talk a little bit about what 2020 brought to your business? And we'll start with Scott and then move to Tim. But Scott, talk a little bit about the challenges of 2020.
What a year. Obviously, COVID was the number one story. And I think the biggest problem for us and probably for a lot of companies was just the uncertainty. Early on, there was so much uncertainty about, who would be allowed to work, who was essential, who was not. So that those first couple months are really choppy there. And then once we realized that we were, essential in the construction business and work was kind of resuming on a normal basis, there was still so much uncertainty with the clientele. I mean, very few deals are being done in real estate right now with any new leases. Companies are really kind of sitting on their hands waiting for people to come back to work and what the workplace is going to look like. So, no one is really looking to sign big leases right now. There's been a lot of short-term extensions for leases with companies just looking to stay put for a year until they kind of ride this out. So just the uncertainty of how to navigate that, and then add to that the programs like the CARES Act and the PPP loans that companies have been getting. There's a lot of uncertainty in how the government is going to account for and dole out that money, which made navigating the year very difficult for us. It was just really every time you turned around, there was a new challenge, and no one really had any answers. So we just kind of had to fumble our way through 2020 for as best we could. And luckily, like I said, our business is diverse and pretty strong in a lot of markets, so we were able to come through it pretty well, all things considered.
Great. Tim, how about you? What were some of the challenges of 2020 and maybe more specifically focused in the Milwaukee area as you see it?
Yeah, well, it was as Scott alluded to, a lot of uncertainty and especially with our clients, everybody all of a sudden started working at home and trying to overcome all these technology obstacles and those that were working, the buildings and the tenants were, wanting to make sure that their tenants and their employees are safe. So, we were doing, temporary measures, putting up sneeze guards and looking at HVAC systems and those kind of things just to keep that uncertainty at a level that's manageable. And internally too, within Bear, we had most of our support staff working from home and we had to adjust to, working with our accounting staffs remotely and some of our field guys, we personally, our project managers were working remotely. So we had to overcome some of those obstacles and work in these Zoom meetings. That was a new concept for everybody, but we all kind of plugged our way through it and I think we're better off for it now.
Well, and kind of turning to what those challenges may have taught us, how do you see the landscape of opportunity now moving into 2021?
Well, I think, it's going to be quite interesting. It's still a big question mark on how and when tenants are going to be coming back to their offices. But we'll be prepared to convert those open plans if people want to do that into more individual offices or private spaces where people can be protected a little bit more easily and feel more comfortable working at an office.
And we really are hearing a lot of talk from the larger users that, the bigger companies, that they probably won't be back in the offices anywhere near full capacity until at least late summer. So, this is going to continue for at least the first half of this year. And then, like Tim said, what it looks like when people come back, we don't know if they come back at 50% or 75% or 100%, and what protections will have to be in place, or if the vaccines are truly effective and people come back and kind of forget about all this, remains to be seen. I think it'll be at least the end of this year before anything like that even could happen. But hopefully it comes back. We're very optimistic that, the end of this spring and early summer, we'll see a lot more activity with real estate, with companies preparing to come back and hopefully, like Tim said, making some changes to their footprints or spaces. But it's going to be a challenge.
Well, and my favorite question that I ask everyone on our sponsor spotlight is the one thing that we should remember about Bear Construction Company. And if we could start with Tim, that would be great.
Well, I think you're going to get individualized service. Customer service is paramount in our culture at Bear Construction. You will get you got a big support staff other than just a PM out in front of everybody. We have a number of project engineers at the offices and a great accounting department, IT department that services all the technology that we've been talking about earlier as well. And, we have a large estimating staff. We can do budgets, we can do anything that the client needs, we can jump on that right away. And that's what we bring to the table.
Yeah, and I'll just add that to kind of piggyback on what Tim said, I think the family values atmosphere of this company are second to none. I mean, there's a lot of big corporate construction companies out there, and I'm not saying that they don't care or they don't try, but as Tim said earlier, the owners of this company, myself, Dennis, George, and Jim, very invested in everything the company does, and we kind of pass that ethos and that power on to all of our project managers, project executives, to do the right thing all the time. So we're a company that's never going to let you down. If there's an issue, we're going to fix it, we're going to resolve it, and we're going to move forward as a partner.
Scott and Tim, Bear Construction Company, we value your support of CARW so much and your support of the commercial real estate industry.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thanks, Tracy.